Thanks to Les Schwab tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, breathe in. Now watch your speed and breathe out. Good. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
Help keep drivers and backseat drivers safe with Les Schwab tires.
McDaniel's Do-It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized do-it-best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people...
is fast approaching with the release of the postseason district formats earlier this week. One thing has become abundantly clear. It's time to get busy for teams in the crowded Western Conference 4A division tonight. It's Wesco 4A boys. It's the Jackson Timberwolves and the Marauders. We come to you live from Jackson High School gym in Mill Creek. Tom Lafferty alongside former Everett basketball coach Daryl Olson, and we're joined by Tevin Dillon, head coach of the Marauders. Coach, am I right? It's time to get busy?
It is time to get busy. It's a big game for both of us.
Tell us about how big it is, because only 3 teams go on, right?
Yeah, only 3 teams go on. I mean, every night's huge with this league right now. Everybody can beat everybody, and so every game really is important. But right now, Jackson is a tough team, and I feel like they're one of the toughest teams in our league, so we got to make sure to get them tonight.
Now, you've had a busy week. Played on Monday, scored 80. Played on Tuesday, scored 80. Can you score 80 tonight? Your JVs did.
Yeah.
No, the Jackson JVs.
Jackson's did, yeah. That's the key. I mean, we got to play defense and score, so, yeah, that's the key. We're gonna really try to get after it tonight. It's a big game for us.
So, you guys have been playing very well. How have you evolved through the season? You had I don't know if it was a difficult preseason, but you got some bumps as you went through. How have things evolved for you?
We had a tough schedule, and I think part of it is just the guys continuing to believe in the process and getting better every day, and really coming to play every night. And that's really what the front of our schedule looked like, is tough games every night, and understanding that when we get to this league, everybody's good.
Makes a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. So it was important for us to get some tough schedules. Our AD last year did a really good job of setting that up for us.
Yeah, I compliment you on that, because I think some coaches, and I don't think this applies to everybody, but they look at a soft preseason to build up that win-loss record, but they pay for it dearly once you get into league.
Right, yeah, so that's part of my, at least the way the mindset is,
right.
Play them tough teams and get better and grow. So.
And I guess the other thing, I look at your team, I look at the points. It's nice to have shooters, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. Hey, when we're hitting, it definitely makes my job a lot easier for sure.
It makes every coach's job a lot easier.
Right.
Speaking of your shooters, run down your 5 starters, a little something about each one of them.
So we got my point guard. His name is Mike Sully. He's a senior for me. He's just a good leader, defender. Mackie James, just hell of a defender. Gets after it, gets into guys, and really changes the tempo of games. Of course, you got Jalen Johnson. He's been a 4-year varsity starter. He's been huge for us and stepping up in big games. And Makai's the other one. Steps up and hits big shots for us. Good defender. Plays big. He's pushing 6'1" maybe, but plays really good defense on some of the big guys.
Yeah.
And then the other guy is Kenny Thompson. He's a senior as well, and he's been stepping up for me and doing big things.
So you know Jackson so well. You got him by 1 a couple of weeks ago. How do you get him again tonight?
Being consistent, taking care of the ball and blocking out. That's going to be huge, right?
Yeah.
Blocking out, getting those big guys out of the paint.
How do you handle Silas? Or do you let Silas do what Silas is going to do, and you worry about the other 4?
No, we got to limit it. We got to make his shots tough. We got to put pressure on him, make his shots tough, and block him out. So that's the key to getting him.
Yep. There you go. Let's go get him.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
There you go. There's Tevin Dillon, head coach of the
Good luck.
Of the Marauders, and we're going to get Steve Johnson here momentarily, and he'll come over and join us here, head coach of the Jackson Timberwolves, and we're trying to get his attention. He'll go over and put the headphones on, sit next to the coach Daryl Olson here. So, Coach, you know Coach Olson, right?
Yeah, we do. We go back a ways.
Just a minute ago, as the kids say these days.
Coach, it's not going to come as a screaming shock to you. They're no nights off in the Wesco 4A.
No, yeah, it's a tough league. I told anyone who would listen to me that it's going to be, 5 tough teams, and it's proven to be true.
Yep. Tell us about Silas Williams.
Yeah, he's having a great year. Obviously, really shooting well from the three-point line. Over 45%, I think, something like that. He's really added, to his game, and he's always been a great rebounder ever since he had a COVID burst spurt. It was like I didn't see him for a while, and then all of a sudden he showed up after COVID, and I'm not kidding, he'd grown like 5 inches. So. But so he's having a really good year. Great kid.
You don't see him grow on the Zoom screen, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You do not.
So you've got 3 games where you've been over 80 points.
Yeah.
6 games over 70 points.
Yeah.
Nice to have shooters, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it makes your offense, execution look a lot better.
Makes your job a lot easier.
Yeah. So we've we've certainly had some good offensive output, and we're at our best when we share the ball and have good balanced scoring, which our best games are against the best teams we beat, and that's the way it's been.
How have you you've got 2 losses in Westco. You had a pretty good preseason. How have things evolved for your team? Have some leaders stepped up that you weren't anticipating? I mean, you've got your studs. Those are givens. But how about off the bench and things like that? Have you got some depth that you can rely on?
Yeah, I mean, I think we do have pretty good depth. Like I said, when we play our best, I mean, it's not just 2 or 3 guys, but when we really get down and 9 or 10 guys contribute in a variety of ways. And McFerrin's had a really good year. As well, he's a starter, but some kids are coming off the bench and giving us good minutes, and that's when we're at our best, I think.
Run down your starters and give us a little something about each one.
So Caden Sproul, a 0, good kid, has a lot of activity, and then Trey Hawkins has been handling our point guard. Harris Camp has had a really good season, had some real big games, shooting real high percentage from 3 and overall. Silas, we already know a lot about. And then Ryan McFerrin that I mentioned briefly too. So those are our starting 5, but we'll definitely go 8, 9 deep, even deeper if we need to. So we've got a lot of kids that really worked hard and I think can contribute.
This is a spot we usually ask, what do you know about Mariner? What don't you know about Mariner?
I know.
No, yeah,
I
mean, we're very familiar, over not only just this year, but having played 2 weeks ago. With our league so small and the league season so condensed, I mean, it's not like you have to wait very long to play the next game.
Right.
I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Right.
They got some firepower too. They've been putting up pretty big numbers in terms of points. Good shooting team, quick, well coached. So definitely a challenge, no question.
Well, I'm looking forward to the game. I think it's going to be a terrific matchup. You guys are both so equal in so many areas, and I know how hard your kids play. I know how well coached they are. So. Good luck, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet. There
you
go.
Take care.
That is Steve Johnson, the head coach of the Jackson Timberwolves. Yep. We will take a break and come back, and we will talk more about this game. We're getting set. The Marauders at Jackson Timberwolves right here on KRKO.
SWCC is an acronym, and it stands for Special Warfare Combatant Craft Crewman.
You can stand across from the guy and say, you know what, he's got your back. And, that's the guy you're counting on. If something goes wrong, he's going to be there.
In the end, we're fighting for each other.
This is Witch Doctor requesting immediate hot extra.
Here on the team, about 22 of us on the boat. You know them personally, so you know exactly whose life you have in your hands.
Everyone's come together, and everyone's sole mission is to do their job individually as best they can to benefit everyone else in the boats.
I got a brotherhood, and it's a real brotherhood, and it's a loyal and honest brotherhood, and that's what matters.
From the Jackson High School Gymnasium in Mill Creek. Hello, everybody. Alongside former Everett basketball coach Darrell Olson, I'm Tom Lafferty with tonight's action featuring Mariner, currently sitting atop the league standings at 4-1, and featuring Jackson in the second place tie at 2-2. The thing to remember, the Wesco 4A, is that teams only have 8 league games, not much in regards to margin of error for any team. Today's game brought to you by Lake Stevens Ace Hardware Store, Glass by Lund, Snohomish County PUD, Dave & Buster's, by Everett Engineering, and by Marysville Toyota. By the way, our pregame coaches interview sponsored by the Buzz Inn Steakhouse. If you're looking for a great deal and a great meal, head to the Buzz Inn Steakhouse. Enjoy their signature breakfast Monday through Friday till 10:30. 9 locations to serve you, including the corner of Broadway and Pacific in downtown Everett.
How you doing, buddy?
And right here in South Everett. As Coach Olson is greeting Dexter Griffin, the former coach at Mariner High School. They're all the stars are out tonight to watch this one tonight.
They know when there's a big game in town, trust me.
So we asked both coaches. I'll ask you the same question. Actually, it's a statement. There are off days in the Wesco 4A, no off days in the Wesco 4A boys division, especially with only 3 teams going on.
Yeah, I know it. It makes it tough. You got a small conference. You've got really, really balanced players, balanced teams. Everything. There is no night off. Winning, there's such a fine line right there, fine margin that, if Jackson should win this, now you got 4 teams with 2 losses. So it's awesome. I mean, from a fan standpoint, it's great.
Let me make another statement, see if you agree or disagree on this one. Jalen Johnson and Silas Williams will cancel each other out. It's going to be the other 8 guys on the floor that'll decide this game.
Yeah, I can't answer that. You don't know how that stuff's going to go. Certainly, they each played, 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago. They know each other very well, and I'm sure that film was watched a number of times. So we'll see. I think it's going to come down to who makes some defensive adjustments, how they're going to check what their matchups are going to be. Is there other areas that they can take advantage of on the offensive end? There's not going to be any secrets out here. You're going to have mano a mano, and they're going to get after it. Your good players are going to – I don't know if they're going to cancel each other out, but they're certainly going to carry their teams.
Silas Williams, when you watch him, and have you seen him play in person?
I have not seen him play.
Because we thought maybe Steve Johnson was fresh out. He's out of Kingmas and he's out of Todd's.
Yeah, I know he is.
And so
I know.
You never know, but I tell you what, he's going to be special for you to watch.
Well, and he does so much more. Good players make players around him better too.
Oh yeah.
And that's the one thing Jackson's been blessed with is an abundance of talent, but shooters. And you can talk about Silas all you want. There's other kids that can shoot too, and you better pay attention to them. And boy, if you've got 3 that can fill it, that's gold. If you've got 4 or 5, you're really tough to check.
So, are we ready to make a determination? You said we like Kamiak. You saw Kamiak earlier.
I know it.
And they're going to be the odd, at least right now, they can't get in.
I hope they keep playing hard because they deserve. That's a good group of kids. They're well coached. They play hard. I saw them early in the year, and I was very impressed with them. But again, the cream has a way to rise into the top, and here we are. We got 4 teams. I'm glad to see Lake in the mix this year.
Yep.
And it for a number of years it was a division that was controlled by Jackson. Now you got Glacier Peak that's since they've been in or up there. So everybody's right there, and they're all playing hard to the end, which is what you want.
That's exactly right. We'll come back, take more of an eye at this game, and get set for tonight's opening tip-off and game action. It's the Jackson Timberwolves hosting the Mariner Marauders. Wesco 4A boys basketball. More from Jackson right after this 2-minute timeout.
We at Gene Johnson are here and ready to help with our touch-free service. Being clean and safe are at the top of our minds. We're using gloves, masks, shoe covers, and lots of hand sanitizer. Our software allows us to get your approval without any physical contact. We hope you don't need us, but if you do, we're ready. Gene Johnson, clean, on time, and professional.
to take part. We're here to take over. I am the beast.
McDaniel's Do It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized Do It Best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
To listen to our Prep Sports Weekly show every Monday night at 7 o'clock, live on KRKO Radio AM 1380 and FM 95.3, online at KRKO.com and available everywhere on the KRKO app. You can also listen to the show anytime as a podcast at KRKO.com. Plus, tonight's game will be available in its entirety on KRKO.com. Stay with us for our post-game show. Today, we'll name the KRKO Radio Sports Marysville Toyota Player of the Game. We'll talk with him, and it'll be presented with a sweatshirt from Screen Printing Northwest. And during tonight's game, we'll have our Move Fitness Move of the Game. Today's game brought to you in part by Smoky Point Concrete, the Buzz Inn Steakhouse, Community Transit, the Law Office of Russell and Hill, Mike Dixon, Farmers Insurance, Screen Printing Northwest, and by Move Fitness. So as we mentioned coming into this ball game, the Mariner Marauders 4-1 in league play, 10-6 overall. Jackson at 2-2 in league play and 9-3 overall. Again, we take a look at the starting lineups for the Mariner Marauders. Their head coach, Tevin Dillon, he ran him down earlier. Jalen Johnson, a 5'8 senior. Mackie James, a 5'8 senior. Makai Bloomfield, a 6'3 senior. Michael Sully, a 5'8 senior. And Kenny Thompson, a 5'10 senior. Coach, just not a lot of height on the Mariner Marauders.
No, but they can get up and down, and they can shoot, and they can play defense. That's good enough for me.
Yeah, right. Work hard and let's go.
Yep.
Jackson Timberwolves, they'll start under their head coach, Steve Johnson, 23 years. In fact, you said you had a little something about him getting this gig.
Yeah, well, I wrote a letter of recommendation for him when he was at Woodinville, and he was looking for another opportunity. It was just time for him to move on, and this opened, and we had a conversation, and got a hold of Steve Stearns, who was the AD out here, and I said, you might want to take a look at him, and here we are 22, 23 years later.
He's done okay.
He's done very well, yeah. No surprises. He's a good, solid coach, good guy, too.
And they will start Caden Sproul, a 6'4 senior. Harris Camp, a 6'3 senior. Trey Hawkins, a 6' junior. Silas Williams, a 6'7 junior. And Ryan McFerrin, a 6'7 junior. So Sproul, Camp, Hawkins, Williams, and McFerrin for Jackson. And for Mariner, it's Johnson and James, Bloomfield, Sully, and Thompson. Those are the starting lineups. And we will come back with tonight's opening tip-off and game action. It's the Mariner Marauders and the Jackson Timberwolves. Wesco 4A boys basketball. Somebody's going to be left on the outside looking in when we get in a couple of weeks.
I know.
Coach, and you just don't know who it's going to be.
Oh, my gosh. I know the poor teams that don't make it. I mean, we're going to be leaving a couple of really good teams at home.
And they're not going to be able to make the district tournament. Again, only 3 teams out of the Wesco 4A make the district tournament. 7 teams out of the Kinko 4A. It's only fair. They have 10 teams. We have 5 up here north.
Yeah, I know it. I never liked that merge, but I don't think we have any choice now. We did it when we were 3A many years ago, and I never cared for it. But they had to find somebody to tag with, and so your options are limited. So it is what it is. They still got to go out and beat people.
We'll have tonight's starting lineups again, and the game action coming up. It's Jackson and Mariner live from Mill Creek right here on KRKO.
Thanks to Les Schwab tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, breathe in. Now watch your speed and breathe out. Good. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
Help keep drivers and backseat drivers.
Here comes Mariner. They'll be in the navy blue uniforms, moving from left to right. Again, the height difference is quite amazing here between the Jackson Timberwolves and the Mariner Marauders. Mariner in the blue, moving from left to right. Jackson is moving to our left, and we're set to go. And it'll be Williams in this middle, going up against Mariners' Mekhi Bloomfield. Ball's in the air. We're underway here with the Jackson Timberwolves controlling. They're in the white uniforms, moving to our left to start things off here at Jackson. On top of the key, Trey Hawkins.
Great pressure. Good defense.
Yeah, great defense. He couldn't get rid of the basketball. They dump it down low to McFerrin. Tries to go split the defender. He kind of underhands it, but it's going to be stolen away by Mariner. Going down, going in, laying up. It's good. That's a steal and a bucket there by Mackie James, and the early lead goes to the Mariner Marauders.
Jackson having a little bit of trouble against that pressure.
Bounce pass underneath, going in. The way to beat it is to beat it down the field, right? Caden Sproul with the bucket there ties us at 2-2. Now Mariner, first time they'll set up their offense as they move to our right. Mackie James up fakes with a three deep in the left-hand corner. They go to Jalen Johnson. Back to James again, dribbles along the baseline, pops it underneath, kind of a no-look pass, underhanded lay-in. That won't go for Michael Sully, and he will go to the free throw line and try to give Mariner back the lead. The foul is going to be called on McFerrin, Ryan McFerrin, his first personal foul, first team foul. Free throw coming up here for Sully of Mariner. First one, clunks it off the front of the iron, no good. He'll get another.
Well, it's pretty obvious that Mariner wants this game to go end line to end line, picking up really hard, full court man, half court, pretty aggressive there too, so they want to get this thing going.
Next free throw is no good as well. That first one was too short, next one was too long, and it's still a 2-2 tie, exactly a minute into the first quarter. Silas Williams bring it out of backcourt. Michael Sully is right. Sully's right in his pocket. They're going to call the foul there. It's going to be on Sully. He was really just right all over him coming up the floor.
Well, I think that early on they're going to dare the officials to call it. They're going to see what they can get away with, and they can't continue that too far because then you get people in foul trouble.
First personal, first team on Sully. Jackson with a fresh 30 on the shot clock. And that is Trey Hawkins on the dribble. Boy, I tell you what, they are right on you defensively. Give it out to Camp.
They're in a little zone. They're in a trapping zone right now, Mariner is.
Cross-court near side, up for the three. Down it goes. The three for Harris Camp. Puts it up and in. And Jackson with their first lead of the ball game, our first lead change here. They'll try to answer on the other end with a two. The bank is not open down that shot. It's going to be a miss for Mariner. Here's an outside shot. It's on the way. It's going to be no good. That by Caden Sproul. And then down the floor, here comes Mariner as they swing it over to the top of the key. I'm guessing Kenny Thompson is number 23 rather than number 24 is going to be my guess, as we didn't have a 24, but or 23. We're going to go with that because that was one of the starters. Been going in, laying it up with the left hand, up and good. That is Michael Sully, and it's a 5-4 lead for the Jackson Timberwolves.
I'm really surprised they're letting him hand check there. That that is exactly what Mariner wants.
Yep. It was a hand check, and then turning around and going to the hard to the hoop was Harris Camp, and he's going to be called for the offensive foul.
Well, that was frustration too, and Steve just had a little conversation with the official that walked by him about that.
5-4 lead for the Timberwolves on their home floor. Top of the key for Mariners, Jalen Johnson. Kick it out to Mackie James. Dribbles in a little bit closer. Now he'll kick it over for an underhand lay-in that won't go. Missed by Sully. Grabbed by Jackson. Here come the Timberwolves on their home floor, leading at 5-4, 5:14 to play in the opening quarter of action. The Wesco 4A boys basketball. Ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Mariner, and it'll be Jackson basketball.
They're letting them play.
Quick hands, quick feet for everybody.
Yep.
Long inbounds pass to Harris Camp out by the center line. 17 to shoot now. As he bounces it to Sproles. Sproles starts to dribble. Give it off to Hawkins. Hawkins looking underneath. Sproles down on his wallet. He gets back up. Silas Williams elevates. 3 on the way. That won't go. McFerrin grabs the rebound, dumps it underneath to Sproul, and the foul is going to be called. On the ground. Nice rebound there by McFerrin. Got it to Sproul, and the foul is going to be called here on Mariner. And they're going to call it's going to be on Kenny Thompson. His first personal foul, second team foul. Still 4. They were handing the ball to and one of the officials was over here talking. Peyton Kelly was talking to the coach. I think they said, yeah, let's wait for him. Waiting for the inbounds pass. They go long out to Silas Williams. Philip James, Peyton Kelly, and Matt Williams are the officials. Long outside 3. Down it goes.
Wow, NBA.
Harris Camp with a big 23-footer, and it's a 4-point lead for Jackson. 8-4, 4.5 to play here in the opening quarter. Dribble drive along the right side. Thompson, puts it up and misses a 3-ball deep in the right-hand corner. McFerrin grabs the rebound for Jackson on the defensive end. Give it off to Hawkins. He'll dump it down low to Williams. Goes up over the top to get the ball. Now there's a scramble for it, a rugby scrum on the floor. The ball goes out of bounds, and to say last touch by Jackson, it'll be Mariner basketball. There were 5 guys on the floor.
Yeah, everybody made a good effort to try to save that.
Low-scoring game so far, 8-4, 8-14. The JV game, Jackson won it in a JV game, 91-66 was the final in the junior varsity game. Here's a bad pass off the hand and out of bounds of Makai Bloomfield. So turnover right back the other way. It's Jackson basketball. Nearly halfway through this first quarter at Mill Creek, Jackson High School. Wesco 4A boys basketball. Tom Lafferty along with Darrell Olson. Glad you're with us on this Thursday night. Dribble drive. Hawkins goes in off the window and in. Drove at the left side and put it up with the right hand and laid it up and in. It's out now to a 6-point lead and a timeout called by Tevin Dillon of the Mariner Marauders. We step aside with 3:48 to go in the opening quarter. It's Jackson 10 and Mariner 4. Back with more after this timeout.
Well, I mean, but the Mariner plays what I call a real edgy defense. They are they play very aggressive, very tight, and they really almost dare you to call. And I think they spend the first quarter wondering what they're going to get away with. And I say that respectfully. I'm not saying that in a negative way at all. They really get in your grill.
Out on top of the key, dribble drive, little stutter step move is Mackie James. Kick it over left side to Sully, goes in, lays it up, no good. Rebound, grab down by Silas Williams, dribbles it himself out of backcourt. Stop, pull-up jumper, won't go from 14 feet. And the rebound grabbed down by the Marauders. Jalen Johnson out of backcourt. Dumps it down low. Block shot there by Williams, but retrieved by Mariner. If you dare go in there at that height, you may get your shot swatted right back in your face. Outside 3-ball, Mackie James won't go. Miss. I thought Williams had the rebound. He almost did, but it's going to be grabbed here for an outside 3-ball up, no good by Makai Bloomfield. And we're going to have a foul called here. They're going to call a foul on Jalen Johnson coming off the rebound, off that reload 3. Now, that's the first personal foul, third team foul. For Mariner, Riley Weimer will check in. Somebody else came in new, too. But we'll get that as soon as we pick it up. They move so fast, it's hard to tell.
I know.
So here is Jackson with it, leading at 10-4. Dribble drive along the right side. Hawkins puts it up off the window and in, and one.
Good little baseline move right there. Pull-up jumper, really a nice little move.
Almost our fitness move of the game, but I think we're going to see some other move. We're going to hold off on it yet. Too early in the first quarter. the foul was called on Mackie James. That's his first personal foul, fourth team foul. Free throw here for Trey Hawkins. Trying to complete the three-point play, and he does. It's a 9-point lead for the Jackson Timberwolves, 13-4. Mariner hasn't scored in about 10 minutes in real time. Swing it over right-hand side for Mariner. Makai Bloomfield, fadeaway jumper on the way. Too hard, offline. Just nothing's falling on this end of the floor for Mariner.
But give Jackson credit.
Sproul goes in, lay in, no. Rebound, actually a foul called here on Jalen Johnson. And he's got to go to the bench. He just picked up his second straight foul.
And that's what happens when you are playing the type of defense Mariner does, which is good. But you run that risk, and now he's going to sit for a while.
Fifth team foul. First free throw, no good for Sproul. He clunked it off the front of the iron.
I think we need to make sure we give Jackson's defense some credit here. There's a reason why Mariner only has 4 points. Anything that's going in the paint, they are being covered pretty well. And they're not getting any second looks either.
Here's a second look. Here's a third look.
Yeah.
First, the free throw was missed, and Silas Williams grabs the offensive rebound, put it up, missed it, put it back up, and put it in. It makes it now an 11-point lead for Jackson, 15-4. Going in, shot blocked there by McFerrin. Here's a spin move. Ty Hale tries to take an offensive charge. Instead, it goes deep in the right-hand corner, and a three ball up and in by Riley Weimer. That backfired on the Timberwolves there.
Yeah.
Here's Williams bringing it out, putting up the left hand as he dribbles with his right hand to push the defender away. Get away from me. Goes in, laying up. Well, that's the way to get rid of the defender. Lay it up.
And if you've got a good ball handler, you're going to challenge that, just like he did there.
17-7, 10-point lead for Jackson on their home floor.
I think
almost looked like
right
a
there.
travel.
I think he did. It didn't look like it. It was.
Here's a dribble drive in, going in a little bit too hard. Nothing's going in. Mackie James puts it up and misses. Grabbed by Williams up the floor. It goes to Camp. Harris Camp with it.
Oh, no.
And here's a steal. Timed it perfectly. Got the interception. The laying up and good. Are they going to count it? Continuation?
That's NBA. That should not count. That should not count. It was on the floor.
I think they're having a discussion about it now. The ball went up and in, and they're talking about whether it should count.
Oh.
They're going to count the bucket. Wow. Wow.
Coach Johnson's having a hard time with that, so am I.
Yeah. He says, you got to be kidding me.
This is not the NBA, and that's
yeah, because he was fouled way out by the foul line.
Yeah, he took another step after the whistle, so that nullified in my opinion. But
Camp with the foul, his second personal foul, third team foul, and the free throw is good. So completing the NBA three-point play there. So Ty Hale brings it out of backcourt for the Timberwolves. Signaling the play as he comes across the logo in the center of the field, center of the floor. Harris Camp. Camp tries to reverses a couple times now to Williams.
Yeah, the worst thing you can do is pick up your dribble right there.
Yeah, Williams goes in, crowded, turns around, puts it up, no good. Follow up, no good on a tap in. McFerrin had the rebound, then a reach in foul is going to be called. I think it's going to be on McFerrin reaching in. What did they call? Oh, did they call a jump ball? Okay, they're going to call jump ball, so it will be turned over to Mariner. Inside a minute now to play in this opening quarter. Fadeaway jumper on the other end, up and good for Mariner. Stevante McSwain with the bucket, and it's a 5-point lead. It was 11 just a little bit ago. It's 5 now. 17-12. As now McFerrin has it. One dribble, puts it up off the glass. No good. Back up and in by Harris Camp. Right there in the spot to get the offensive rebound, and the bucket is 19-12. The lead for Jackson. Mackie James in the right corner for the Mariner Marauders. Down to 20. It's about a 2-second differential to the shot clock, game clock. They got it down underneath and in for the little bucket.
Nice
right there.
Little pass there on the baseline.
Riley Weimer with the bucket, and it's 19-14. 9 seconds to play. Hale out of backcourt. Kicked it with his knee. Picked up by Mariner. Did they bring it out of backcourt? Mackie James to the right side. It goes to Bloomfield. Shoots at the horn and count it. Count the bucket for a 3, and it's a 2-point ball game. It's 19-17 Jackson. We thought it'd be a good game, Coach. It's a good game.
There was a whole lot of points scored in a very short period of time right there.
We'll come back with the second quarter after this timeout.
SWCC is an acronym, and it stands for Special Warfare Combatant Craft Crewman.
You know, you can stand across from the guy and say, you know what, he's got your back. And, you know, that's the guy you're counting on. If something goes wrong, he's going to be there.
In the end, we're fighting for each other.
Wolfpack, this is Witch Doctor requesting immediate hot extract.
Here on the team, about 22 of us on the boat. You know them personally, so you know exactly whose life you have in your hands.
Everyone's come together, and everyone's sole mission is to do their job individually as best they can to benefit everyone else in the boat.
I got a brotherhood, and it's a real brotherhood, and it's a loyal and honest brotherhood, and that's what matters.
Second quarter gets underway here at Jackson High School. 19-17 Jackson, a flurry of points, and here's another steal. Grabbed by Makai Bloomfield, dumps it off to Mackie James. Probably should have taken himself.
Yep.
James dribbles at the baseline, puts it up off the window and in, and we are tied. From 11 down, Mariners come to tie it up at 19 all. Wow. We'll take a look at the first quarter numbers if we ever get a chance to have a break here. Trey Hawkins has it on the dribble, top of the key. Bounce it over to the left-hand side. It goes to Mason Johansson. Johansson with it, looking to pass it off, gives it to Camp. Goes down to one knee, Curly Neal style. And he has the defender all over the back of him. Body's on the floor. The ball's in the air. The shot won't go. Ball went out of bounds. And Peyton Kelly says, I need help. I'm not sure who it went off of.
I don't think that's the right call. I think they got one there.
And so Jackson will get it here.
I think Mariner, that should be Mariner ball.
Ty Hale will come in. Let's take a look at the first half numbers here with Buddy Patrick. First quarter
for our
numbers.
team, Marauders 7 for 16 from the field, 8 for 14 for the Jackson Timberwolves. 3-point range, 2 for 4 for Mariner, 2 for 3 for Jackson. Individually scoring Makai Bloomfield 6 points in the first quarter, 8 points for Harris Camp.
We're going to have Ty Hale drags his pivot foot,
yep,
and it's going to be a turnover. Jackson with an 11-4 advantage on the rebounds in that first quarter as well. We're 50 seconds into the second quarter. It's a 19-19 tie. Jackson's 8th turnover. Nearly turned over back again, but Stavante McSwain gets it, puts it up. Too hard, no good. Rebound grabbed down by Williams, feeds it off to Hale. He drags it. He knocks over. They're going to call an offensive foul.
That's a good call.
Yep. He was out of control.
Well, and good for Mariner. They did not bite on that pass fake, and the guy stayed right with him. So good defense on his part, but it was a good call.
First personal foul on Hale, 4th team foul. Still at 19 all here in Mill Creek. Jackson and Mariner. Marauders moving to our right in the navy blue uniforms with gold and gray, and they're going to call an offensive foul. You know what? They called it on the other end. They're going to call it on this end, too. Michael Sully called for the offensive foul.
I don't know if I agree with that one.
But you were born to disagree with the official.
Well, yeah. Okay.
They call it on this end.
Yep.
You know, you lower the shoulder, put out your elbow. So it's Jackson basketball.
Don't pick your dribble up. There you go. That's what happens.
Pass. Yep, bad
what
pass.
happens.
He was looking for Trey Hawkins in the corner. Ty Hale, as you mentioned, picked up his dribble, then had no choice but to try to pass it off, and it was a bad pass. 4th turnover of the quarter on Jackson. Mariner with the basketball, trying to break the tie and retake the lead for the second time in the ball game. Top of the key. Oh, they're going to call him for a little hesitation there as Makai Bloomfield up-faked for the 3, dragged the foot, and they're going to call him for the travel. So a turnover on the Marauders. It'll be Jackson basketball. Jackson in the home white uniforms, trimmed in green and black, moving to our left. A 19-19 tie. Timberwolves led by as much as 11 in that first quarter. To Hale. Underneath it goes to Johansson. Out of bounds. Last touch by Mariner. So they will be still in the possession of the Jackson Timberwolves in their front court. And they're inviting Mackie James to come down and play some defense. He was already back. He thought it was their ball. Oh, okay, I'll come back into front court, which is to our left. Johansson to Hawkins. Hawkins lost the dribble, but it went right into the hands of Ty Hale. down to 3 to shoot. Turnaround jumper. It's good for Silas Williams. Puts it up and in. Gives back the lead to Jackson at 21-19. For Mariner, top of the key, Michael Sully. Cross-court pass goes over the left-hand side. That's McSwain underneath. Go in. Reverse. The reverse lay-in was no good by Makai Bloomfield. Rebound grab by Williams. Down the floor they go. Out of bounds. Last touch by Mariner on the other end. Boy, they get down there quickly.
I think they called a foul.
Did they? Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're going to call a foul here. And this will be on Mariners' Devontae McSwain. His first personal foul. And the 7th team foul. We're in the bonus. Steve Johnson was lobbying for in the act of shooting.
I don't think that. I think it was a good call.
Yeah. So that'll put Ty Hale at the free throw line for the Jackson Timberwolves. Free throw, you'll get another as the first one is good. Today's game brought to you in part by Smoky Point Concrete, the Buzz Inn Steakhouse, Community Transit, and the Law Office of Russell and Hill. 5.5 to go, first half. 22-19 lead for Jackson. Next one by Ty Hale is good at the free throw line. 23-19, 4-point lead, 5.5 to go. In the first half, that's McSwain closed off there. They'll swing it top of the key. Jalen Johnson back in, puts it up a little wildly. It hardly even hit the square on the backboard, and it came caroming off. Now down to
nice.
Trey Hawkins.
Very nice.
Hawkins came down, does a pull-up jumper from nobody takes pull-up 8-footers anymore, do they?
No, and that was off the dribble too, which is another that just I love that little move.
6-point lead for Jackson. Pull-up 3 on the way. That won't go by Jalen Johnson. Rebound by Williams. Up the floor it goes to Johansson. Oh, excuse me, that is not Johansson. That is Ryan McFerrin. And they're going to call the foul on McSwain for Mariner, his second personal foul, 8th team foul. Camp checks back in. Sproul checks back in for Jackson. Hale goes to the bench. And that will put Ryan McFerrin at the free throw line. Banks.
What was that?
Banks the first one in.
Yeah. I didn't hear him call that either.
No.
It's a little concerning.
26-19 the score, 4:48 to go.
So Mariner, we're just under 5 minutes, and Mariner's got 3 players with 2 fouls. They need to be careful here. Their style of defense, there was a bad pass.
Bad pass and off the inside knee of Ryan McFerrin and out of bounds, so turn it over to Mariner.
And they don't want to get that starting lineup with all 2 fouls.
Right.
They're going to be sitting the first half, and there can be a lot of damage done in the last 4 minutes.
Mackie James will go to the bench. Inbounds here for Mariner right in front of us. We're just above courtside here at Jackson High School in Mill Creek. Swing a pass over the left-hand side. A shot on the way, no good by Kenny Thompson. McFerrin grabs the rebound immediately, has a defender in his grill. He also picked up the dribble. They're going to have a timeout call.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah.
But that'll avoid that 5-second call.
Steve Johnson calls timeout. We step aside. 4:29 to go in the first half. 26-19. Jackson leading Mariner. Back with more after this timeout.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, breathe in. Now watch your speed and breathe out. Good. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
Help keep drivers and backseat drivers safe with Les Schwab Tires.
The Timberwolves went 7-1 to start the season, and then since in the last 4 games, win, lose, win, lose. So we'll see what they do tonight on the win, lose here for Jackson, the Marauders of Mariner and the Jackson Timberwolves. Here's Sproul going in for the Timberwolves, no good. Back up by McFerrin and in. Good offensive rebound there. That's really where they're making their bread and butter.
I tell you, and I like McFerrin. He knows his body. He knows what he can do. He doesn't try to do too much.
There's a spin move, turn, face, fire from 10 feet away. That's good for Makai Bloomfield. Makes it a 7-point ball game. 28-21. Inside 4 minutes now to play in this first half. Little runner, no good. Lay-in missed by Hawkins. Rebound grabbed down by Bloomfield.
Walk, good call.
And
That's a good call.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pulled the foot a little bit early, and they will call the travel here on McSwain, and it'll be out of bounds right in front of the Jackson bench to our right. And inbounds here for the Timberwolves. Trey Hawkins gets it. He'll call the play with his right hand coming out of backcourt. Maybe not as tough a defense now as they kind of backed off a little bit.
Well, yeah, I think they've had to. They,
Well, here's a knock away.
Good hustle.
As it was stolen by by Johnson. Jalen Johnson took it away from Silas Williams, and then a foul is going to be called.
Okay, that's Mariner not giving up on the play, not giving up on the loose ball.
And they're going to call this one on Jackson's Trey Hawkins. That's his first personal foul, 5th team foul. So out of bounds now for Mariner at the baseline. McSwain will throw it in. Right underneath the word welcome on Welcome to the Den here on the right baseline. He gets handed the ball. McSwain will throw it in. Looking on the inbounds to Jalen Johnson. Shoots a three, won't go. Nearly saved from going out of bounds there by Harris Camp. He couldn't quite handle the basketball, so same thing, but just instead of under welcome, he's going to be under den here. And Silas Williams will have a seat for the Timberwolves. Inbounds here. Top of the key, Riley Weimer. Entry pass down low. The defender fell asleep, wasn't anywhere near James for the bucket.
And that's just a lack of focus right there. You've got to pay attention.
28-23. Timberwolves with the ball. They have the lead. Hawkins has it. Rifles a pass left side. Harris Camp shoots a three that won't go. McFerrin gets the rebound. Went down to both hands and knees. And then has the ball grabbed by Jalen Johnson. Step through, Euro step. Good for the bucket. It's in.
Again, just flat hustle play right there.
Jalen Johnson's got a couple of those.
A little lazy on the pass from Jackson, and he was there to get it and go.
Yeah, he take advantage of every opportunity. Now here's Hawkins with it. 5 seconds closely guarded on Hawkins.
Good call.
He was trying to pass it off. And so I think that was a call.
Oh, that's a good call. Yeah.
Yeah. He's confused by it. Because you get it. Part of the 5 seconds, you get on a dribble, then you can stop the dribble. But he was dribbling the whole time.
Yeah.
Top of the key. Johnson has it. Little step through move, but he kicks it over to the left-hand side for a three that's on the way. That's going to be a miss by Riley Weimer. And then a pushing foul coming off. And this will be called on Mackie James. Who's going to be left?
I know. They got to be careful. You still got 2.5 minutes.
In this second quarter.
I know.
You still got 16 minutes on the other side of halftime. Second personal foul on James, 9th team foul. Trey Hawkins at the line. First one, only one. Misses, but McFerrin grabs the rebound. Back up, won't go. Tap up, yes, it will go. I'm not sure if it was Sproul or McFerrin who got it.
I thought it was McFerrin.
They gave it to McFerrin,
yeah.
Okay. Deep in the corner, three on the way, trying to answer. That's an air ball, no good by Mackie James for Mariner. So they got a 2-on-1 end, got a stop on the other end. It's right back to Jackson basketball, leading at 30-25. Inside 2 minutes of play in the first half. Dribbling in is Silas Williams from the foul line jumper, no good. McFerrin, surprise,
right there to clean it up. Yep, right there to clean it up.
Grabbed another rebound, put it back up and in. It's back to a 7-point lead for the Timberwolves on their home floor. Jalen Johnson, as they work the perimeter deep in the corner. Mackie James looking at a three. Instead, he'll step into the paint, kicks it back over to the right side. Weimer has it. Bounce pass in, off the window and in, and one coming up here. Mackie James, nice move there. Tell you, Mackie James and Jalen Johnson do not give up.
And nobody on that team gives up, and that's what I'm so impressed about. And Jackson just has a lapse in concentration down there, and Mariner just takes advantage of it.
Camp picks up the foul. That's his third personal foul.
Yeah, they got to get him out.
6th team foul. So that will bring Mason Johansson off the bench, and Harris Camp has got to go to the bench after this first free throw.
And he honestly shouldn't have been in there. Under 2 minutes, you get those guys with 2 fouls out of there.
Free throw, only one. Mackie James puts it in. And it's 32-28, a minute 31 to play. Still full court pressure by the Marauders. Hawkins will bring it out of backcourt. Quickly goes by the defender here. Scoop laying up good. How did that happen?
I don't know. I'm not sure if that was a travel or not.
Going in for the bucket on the other end. No, it's a miss. A miss there by Makai Bloomfield. It was surrounded by white shirts and grabbed. So one shot in the other end for the Marauders. It's Jackson basketball. Minute 7 to play in the first half. Silas Williams at the baseline.
Good move.
He'll do a step through, no good. Tap up will not go as well. This time it will, but they're going to call the whistle. The whistle did happen before the third offensive foul on that possession. Oh, they're going to call the foul.
Oh.
It's going to be on Mason Johansson.
Oh.
Yeah, he kind of went over the top, I think, to try to little overzealously tip that one in. And it's going to be Johansson's first personal foul. 7th team foul. Free throw here on the other end by Makai Bloomfield.
I know this is going to sound like an oxymoron, but they got to use some clock management here in the last minute. I'm not sure that's possible, but it's just, I mean, you don't want, Jackson's played so well, they just don't want this to slip away here in the last minute of the first half.
Free throw miss. Silas Williams grabs a rebound.
I don't know if clock management is in their vocabulary, but
here's Trey Hawkins.
I certainly would get the ball in the paint, and then they just turn it over.
They turn it over, and it's going to be grabbed going in, laying up. No good. There was a steal, but McSwain couldn't get the lay-in to go, and Williams grabs the rebound. It's Jackson basketball. Trey Hawkins has it. 23 to shoot, 36 on the first half clock. Hawkins out by the logo on the dribble. 16 to shoot.
Oh, my gosh, he picked the dribble up again. There we go.
Long cross-court pass over the left-hand side. Elevate for a 3-ball. Offline, no good. That's a miss by Johansson. Who's got it? They're going to say, yeah. As Jalen Johnson didn't give up on it. Went out of bounds in midair. Turned around and hit it off the rear end of Caden Sproul. Mariner basketball. They can play for one shot if they so choose. 15 seconds to go. Shot clock is dead. Jalen Johnson, corner Mackie James, back to Johnson.
They're
down
just
to 9.
Spread it and then just take it to the hole.
Down to 7, down to 6. Johnson has it down to 4, down to 3. Stop, pop, on the way, good. Up and in, just as the horn sounds, and we have reached halftime here at Jackson High School in Mill Creek with our score, the Jackson Timberwolves 34 and the Mariner Marauders 30. Come back, we'll take a look at if the playoffs started tonight. It could be interesting as we head into the postseason here in just a couple of weeks. 19-17 at the end of the first quarter, 34-30 Jackson at the end of the first half. We'll come back with more from Jackson High School after this timeout. Okay.
Come with us. The new generation. The next level. Sending it big.
Oh, my goodness! You're in for a good run. Let's go.
Come with us to the track, to the trails, to the slopes, to the surf, to the fight, to the race.
Look at this!
To the 4 a.m. starts. Training harder, pushing further, hitting back, hard.
I never sit on you. I get the gang on you. You better pray for it. I put that thing on you. You ever play with it?
To the fans, to the followers, and the haters.
But it doesn't matter.
Come with us to the blood, to the sweat, and the broken bones. Cue rehab. We never quit. We never give up. We take control. To the world titles. To the world's first. The world's best.
UFC Strawweight Champion.
Come with us. We're just getting started.
It's going to be so much fun. I promise you.
SWCC is an acronym, and it stands for Special Warfare Combatant Craft Crewman.
You know, you can stand across from the guy and say, you know what, he's got your back. And, you know, that's the guy you're counting on. If something goes wrong, he's going to be there.
In the end, we're fighting for each other.
Full practice, Witch Doctor requesting immediate hot extract. Taking on
Here on the team, about 22 of us on the boat. You know them personally, so you know exactly whose life you have in your hands.
Everyone's come together, and everyone's sole mission is to do their job individually as best they can to benefit everyone else in the boat.
I got a brotherhood, and it's a real brotherhood, and it's a loyal and honest brotherhood, and that's what matters.
Thanks to Les Schwab tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, breathe in. Now watch your speed and breathe out. Good. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
Help keep drivers and backseat drivers safe with Les Schwab tires.
Should really be happy where they're at, and I think Jackson should be a little frustrated. But the pace of the game right now isn't going to lend itself to somebody, pulling away and then being able to maintain that. Both teams are going hard at it.
The officials are just now coming out of the locker room.
I'll be honest with you, I am surprised that so few free throws have been shot.
Yeah.
Jackson defensively inside is showing a lot of discipline and not going for shot fakes or fouls. On the other end of the court, Mariner has withstood the barrage of offensive rebounding.
Here we go, second half underway. Mariner moving to our left now in the blue uniforms, going in, dribble drive. We have a pushing foul called. As driving down there was Makai Bloomfield. They're going to call Caden Sproul with the foul. That'll be his first personal foul and the first team foul of the second half, and a couple of free throws coming up here for Makai Bloomfield. Today's game brought to you in part by Mike Dixon, Farmers Insurance, Screen Printing Northwest, and by Move Fitness. Stay with us. We'll have our Move Fitness move of the game. Keep an eye for it, Coach. We got to find our move of the game.
Yep.
First free throw is good. Second one on the way, good as well. He's got 10 points, Makai Bloomfield. It's a 2-point ball game, 34-32. Remember, Jackson led by as much as 11 points in this ball game in that first quarter. Harris Camp, 10 before they got it. They were kind of nonchalanting it, weren't they?
Yeah, they made a couple of really lazy passes and not moving the ball forward. You've got to continue to pursue that 10-second line and get it over.
In Major League, lollygags. They just lollygagged their way up there, and they got called for the turnover. Their 18th turnover of the ball game. Look at me listening. Going in, laying up, no good, and they're going to have the ball blocked out of bounds by McFerrin. And so it'll be 20 on the shot clock. We're 30 seconds into the third quarter. Inbounds here for Mariner. Going to Jalen Johnson. Starts to dribble across the top of the key. Hooks a pass over the left-hand side. 3 on the way. Good. Down it goes for Makai Bloomfield. It's a 1-point ball game. 35-34. Full court pressure by Mariner. Silas Williams dribbles it out of back court. Comes into front court. Stops at the top of the key. Rifles a pass down to McFerrin. He's got hands in his face. And it almost stolen away. Instead, it was knocked out of bounds by Mariner. It'll be still Jackson ball, 19 on the shot clock. Inbounds here for Hawkins. Looking to throw it in, looking. Finally, way out top side, it goes to Williams. Dribbles down, stops, pops, tries a banker from 13, no. Gets his own rebound. It was tapped out to him. Goes in with the left hand. It won't go. Sproul grabs the rebound up and in. And no, they're going to call him on a push-off instead of a foul. Couple of more rebounds there, but Sproul called for the foul. That's his second personal foul and the second team foul of the second half here against Jackson. 26 to shoot now for Mariner. Marauders moving to our left. Ball almost knocked away from Jalen Johnson. Out it goes to James. Over to Johnson again. Elevates for a three. Offline, no. Who's got the rebound? It's going to be grabbed by one of the shortest guys on the floor. Blocked by McFerrin. He's got 3 blocks in the ball game. Underneath it goes. Laying up, no good. Who's got it? They're still battling it for the basketball. It finally goes out of bounds. And it's going to go the other way, and it will be Jackson basketball. Oh, no, they're going to call it foul.
I'm surprised by that.
They're calling a foul.
I'm surprised they could designate somebody to foul there. That was just good aggressive play by both teams.
Yeah, Michael Sully called for the foul. I thought he got fouled when he went in for the layup.
Yeah. There's so many different ways it could have gone. The best thing is no call.
For his third personal foul.
Get it in. Get
First
it in.
Team foul.
There you are.
5 seconds. Didn't get it in. So they've had a 5-second inbounds difficulty, and then they had a 10-second penalty as well.
I tell you, Mariner has come out with all the momentum in the second half. 5-0 run.
Outside three on the way. That won't go. It's going to be a miss there by Jalen Johnson, who's got, no, check, it was Mackie James that missed the three. Rebound controlled by Jackson. Timberwolves with the basketball. Trey Hawkins on the dribble. Across the top of the key. Almost lost a handle on it. Changes direction. Spins around, picked up the dribble, dumps it down to Williams. Silas goes to the baseline.
Good
up
move.
The glass and in.
Good move. He caught the ball above the block, and he was able to go baseline on it. Good move.
Quickly down the floor, pull-up jumper on the way. Good. Bang, down it goes for Jalen Johnson for the Mariner Marauders. 37-36, the lead for the Marauders. They retake the lead here. Going down underneath, and the lay-in is up and good, and right back to the lead. Silas Williams puts the Timberwolves back out to the lead at 38-37. Jalen Johnson tries to answer, clunks it off the front of the iron, a three, no good. Silas Williams grabs rebound, stolen away from him. Feed it off, going in, laying up, good. Devontae McSwain off the nice pass from Jalen Johnson. It's back to another lead for the Mariner Marauders at 39-38. Dump it down to Williams, one over the top. Double team, he goes in, hook shot, the sky hook, no good. We were talking about UCLA a moment ago during halftime. And then the putback up and in by Silas Williams. 40-39, our fifth lead change, 4 here in this quarter. Out to the top of the key, up fake for the three, didn't take it, was Weimer. Kicks it off instead to Mackie James. He'll give it to Jalen Johnson, stopped at the baseline. Back out to James again, 15 to shoot, dribbles through a couple of defenders. Foul on the floor. He tried to split the defender, and that's going to be 4 personals. No, check it. They're going to give it to McFerrin, his second personal foul.
I did too. I thought he had his 4th.
So inbounds here for Mariner. Down by 1, 40-39. As it goes in against Silas, and we have a foul called.
That's not a very good call. That's a bad call. All
Devontae
ball.
McSwain. Most of the folks here are thinking it was all ball. He's going to be called. Silas Williams is for the foul. That's his first personal foul, 4th team foul, compared to 1 so far on Mariner.
Steve's having a discussion, and I don't blame him. That was not a very good call.
First free throw is good for Devontae McSwain, ties the score at 40. If he hits this free throw, it'll be our 6th lead change of the ball game. Mariner led by as much as 2 early on. Jackson had an 11-point lead. Next free throw is good. And the lead is 41-40 Mariner. 4:36 to play in this third quarter. Trey Hawkins on the dribble. Bounce pass goes to Camp. Underneath to Sproul, off his fingertips and out of bounds. Trying to pass it in against all those small guys from Monroe, or from Mariner, that are swatting at the basketball.
Well, they got really active hands, really active.
It's Devontae McSwain. Across the logo, swings it over the left side. Jalen Johnson elevates, 3, rattles out deep. Tough luck shot there. Grabbed down by It was grabbed there by Camp. It's stolen right back by Mariner. Put up jumper by Mackie James. No. Bodies on the floor. That's Jalen Johnson. 20 turnovers on the Jackson Timberwolves. They turn it over. And we're going to have a timeout on the floor. We'll catch our breath. 4:06 to go in the third quarter. 41-40. Mariner leading Jackson back after this.
McDaniel's Do-It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized Do-It-Best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
Mariner beat Jackson in their first game a couple of weeks ago, 74-73. I think we're not going to get to 74-73. 41-40 right now. Jackson basketball at the baseline. And Silas Williams will throw it in. At the baseline.
Full court press from Mariner.
Williams to throw it in. Looking, finally gets it to Sproul. Give it back to Williams. The best ball handler on the floor. Brings it up across the timeline. To Trey Hawkins. Fakes right. Hasn't started the dribble yet. He'll dump it to Williams. Back to the basket. Turns, face, goes in. One extra step. Yeah, that's a travel on Williams.
Yeah, good call.
And it will be right back to Mariner as Jackson commits their 21st turnover in this ballgame. 6 of them here in this quarter. There's 3:50 to go in the third quarter. 41-40, Mariner. And the Marauders with the basketball. Goes to McSwain. Now it goes a fadeaway jumper good. Mekhi Bloomfield for a 2. Up and in, and that's the biggest lead of the game for the Marauders. They lead it by 3, 43-40, with 3.5 to go. Now Hawkins on the dribble for Mariner, for Jackson. Stops at the baseline, turns and pops and puts it up and in. That was a 2-ball from about 14 feet away. It's 43-42, Marauders by 1. Now dribbling in, put it up off the glass and in.
Good take.
On the other end.
Really nice move to the hole there.
Bloomfield with the bucket. It's 45-42, 3:07 to play in the third. Trey Hawkins out of back court. Stops at the top of the key.
Too much dribbling. And now you're going to get trapped.
He got trapped out by the center line. They're going to say, okay, so they're going to call a foul on Michael Sully, who picks up his 4th personal foul. That's the reason for the big reaction. But he did the smart thing, walk away, because Peyton Kelly was going to have none of it here. So maybe when both teams are mad at you, you're doing a pretty good job.
Right.
Leaving him in with 4 personal fouls. That's brave. Trey Hawkins has it. Hasn't started the dribble. Being guarded there by Johnson. Dribbles around him, puts it up, won't go. Johnson goes up in the air, grabs the rebound, dribbles it out of backcourt in traffic, stops, pulls up, foul line jumper, too hard, no good.
Oh.
Battle for the rebound, no battle. He got it himself.
I know.
It fell right into his hands. Now he's double teamed to the baseline. Jump ball called, alternating possession. We go back the other way. It'll be Jackson basketball. 2:33 to go, third quarter, 45-42 the score. Mariner with the lead. Harris Camp will go to the bench. Ty Hale checks in for him for the Timberwolves. We'll have another sub coming up here in a moment. Mason Johansson will check in, but Hale will dribble it out of backcourt for the T-Wolves. Stops at the logo, still on the dribble. Looking left, bounce pass. Hawkins, no, ball's carried out of bounds. Oh, they're going to say last touch by Hawkins. Overplay on the defense there by McSwain. Cause another turnover on Jackson. It'll be Mariner basketball. McFerrin goes to the bench. And Johansson checks in for the Timberwolves. Now Mariner with it. Bounce pass goes to Bloomfield. Goes in, dribbles it in. Nice move by Bloomfield.
Very nice. Good take.
It's a 5-point lead, biggest lead of the game for the Marauders, 47. He's got 11 points in the quarter. 19 total, and they're going to call a timeout by Jackson as the ball was being held, and we'll take a break. 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. 47-42 the lead for the Marauders. Back in 30 seconds.
We're not here to take part. We're here to take over. I am the beast.
Jackson basketball on the inbounds. Checking in for the Timberwolves, Murphy Blackburn. First time we've seen him tonight. They're going to call an offensive foul. Trey Hawkins had the ball, and they will call Trey Hawkins for the offensive foul. You're not saying anything, Coach. Good call, bad call, no call.
No call.
Okay. I can take that. In the corner, Johnson for Mariner. Stops, goes in. He was going to go up with a shot. The ball was knocked away from him by Hawkins. Hawkins is quick defensively.
He is very quick.
So Mariner retains possession in their front court to our left. 20 on the shot clock. Minute 42 to go here in the third quarter. On the inbounds it goes. Riley Weimer dribbles in, puts it up too hard, no good. Got fouled on the way in. I think they're going to, even though Ty Hale was on the floor, he's going to be the guilty party here. Hale picks up the foul. That's his second personal foul. 6th team foul, and Riley Weimer goes to the bench for the Mariner Marauders. 1:38 to play in the third. And Weimer's first free throw is good. And he will get another. Next one is on the way, and it is good as well. And it is a 49-42 lead for Mariner. Jackson brings it out of backcourt. Overplay on the defense. Jalen Johnson's going to be called for the foul. That's his third personal foul. Oh.
The problem I have with that foul right there
Yep.
is that's the way they've been playing the entire game, and now they wait till a minute to go in the third quarter to make that call.
Bounce pass on the inbounds to Hawkins. Looking underneath, still looking. They're looking for Williams. Finally, they'll just dump it down to him. He dribbles into the paint. He's surrounded by 4 guys, and he puts up the shot, no good. Back up, no good. That was a miss there by Johansson off the miss by, if 4 guys are guarding 1 guy, somebody's got to be open.
Right.
Riley Weimer picks up the foul. That's his first personal foul. Team foul 4. Free throw here. Johansson at the line for Jackson. Timberwolves down by 5.
7.
Oh, yeah. I was told there'd be no math in this game. It is 7. 6 now. Look, if he makes this one, I'll be right. I told you, math. Lafferty's don't do math.
Right.
Next one, good. See, it's 5.
There you go.
I didn't lie.
No, you didn't.
I foretold the future.
Right.
Top of the key, Jalen Johnson left him open. He couldn't hit it though. Missed the 3 ball, and Silas Williams grabs another rebound for Jackson out of backcourt. Timberwolves down by 5. Boy, shoulder went down. The defender went down. Then a battle for the rebound. It's going to be a traveling call. No call on the shoulder.
Good no call.
Yeah.
I don't think he went into him. I think the guy played the charge.
Looking, Hawkins will throw it in. Off the back of the defender, put it up, no good. It was a neat trick, but
yes,
it didn't work.
It was.
In the corner, 3 on the way for Mariner. Bang! Down it goes Makai Bloomfield with the 3 ball.
He's had a huge third quarter.
52-44. The lead is 8 points. That one I got. We're at 40 seconds to play in the third quarter. 14 points in the quarter for Bloomfield. Hawkins tries to answer on the other end. It won't go. Rebound comes down into the hands of Johnson. Feed it over the right-hand side. Going in, laying up, miss, no good. Back up and in, and one for Bloomfield. He's gone crazy here in this quarter. Makai Bloomfield. He's going to be at the free throw line. So what does he have now? 16. He could get to 17 points.
And with the exception of probably 2 baskets, they've all been going to the basket. He has imposed his will on them and has done a really, really nice job. He's finished everything that he's taken inside.
The lead is 10 points. He's 6 for 6 from the field in this quarter. Makai Bloomfield, the 6'3" senior. Tallest guy on the roster for the Marauders. Missed the free throw. We saw Jada Andreessen for Snohomish get 19 in a quarter of 1st of December in a girls' game. This is our second high total here in this year. 3 on the way. Trey Hawkins loved that shot. He just stood there and admired it.
Get back on defense.
4:54-47, 3 seconds. Back, there's Bloomfield. Shoots, won't go. That will be that end of the quarter. Wow, what a quarter.
What a quarter.
54-47 the score. The lead for Mariner. 4th quarter coming up right here on KRKO.
McDaniel's Do-It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized Do-It-Best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
47 Mariner leading Jackson. Buddy Patrick, let's look at Makai Bloomfield.
Makai Bloomfield, 16 points in the 3rd quarter, 24 altogether. He was 6 for 7 from the field in the 3rd quarter.
Makai Bloomfield, turn around, face fire, won't go. Front of the iron, no good. Rebound, grab down and back up for a 3. Won't go for Johnson. And Silas Williams grabs the rebound for the Jackson Timberwolves. They bring it out of backcourt. Brings it down himself, goes in, lost the ball, lost the defender, knocked him over, put him into the boards. It's like a hockey game.
Good defense there, though. Mariners just out hustling him. That's just all there is to it. They are just flat out hustling him.
On the inbounds, it goes to Williams. He'll shoot the 3, hit the 3. Now, if he heats up, that could change this ball game. He's got 15 in the ball game. It's a 4-point lead. He has changed the ball game. 4 points at 54-50. 45 seconds into the final quarter. Open, wide open for a 3 that will not go. It's a miss. Miss there by Kenny Thompson. And Hawkins brings it out of backcourt. He'll dump it down to Williams. Puts it up off the glass and in. Hawkins to Williams, and immediately Tevin Dillon says, we got to talk about it.
Yep.
Because what was a 10-point lead is now a 2-point lead, 54-52. We'll keep it right here on the timeout. What did Tevin Dillon see there that he wanted to say, hey, we got to talk about this, boys?
Well, they're going to have to adjust how they're going to check the post. Either if they're going to check it in a denial from the front, they got to have somebody sliding over on the backside. They can't let that happen. I think Jackson should have been doing that a lot more this game. Force their hand inside, see how they're going to adjust, and then go accordingly. But I'd like to see Jackson come down with a little bit of motion, keep that low post action down there, and just see how they're going to check. They're going to have to make a decision. Jackson obviously has a height. So
right.
We'll see what happens coming out of the timeout.
So here we go. Out of bounds here for Mariner. Down up by 2 right now at 7 minutes to play in the game. They swing it over right-hand side. Michael Sully He gives it off, and going in and losing the ball was Jalen Johnson. Grabbed by Hawkins, goes in, laying up. Hawkins missed. Follow-up, no good. Follow-up number 2, good by Williams. Got an offensive rebound and the bucket, Williams, and we are tied at 54 all. Now Mariner on the attack immediately down the floor. Jalen Johnson as they swing it around to Weimer. Deep in the right corner to Sully. Back out to Johnson again. Johnson dribbles across the top of the key. Pull-up jumper on the way from 8. Rims out, no good. Williams affected the rebound, put it into the hands of Sproul. And here comes Jackson, a chance to retake the lead. They've led by 11. Mariners led by 10 in this ball game. We're tied at 54. 2 minutes in to the final quarter.
No.
Williams went up high in the air trying to grab it, and he went out of bounds. They just say he went out of bounds.
That was not a good angle to try to enter that ball into the post. That was too much airtime there. Ball was in the air too long.
Yep. Turnover, give it to Mariner. Marauders with the basketball. Inside 6 minutes to play in the game. So bring it out of backcourt. Sully has it at the right wing, out at the elbow. Now they'll go over to the left-hand side to McSwain. Back over to the right side to Reimer. It won't go. Weimer with the miss. And then the rebound controlled by Sproul. Jackson with it. Again, a chance to take the lead. Harris Camp backs across the timeline, dumps it down low to McFerrin, laying up good.
Offensive foul.
They're going to call it out. That's a good call. As Camp went up there out of control as he dumped it off.
It is a good call.
You know, if he goes up and lays it in, I don't think they call it.
Yeah.
But he they called it on Camp. That's his 4th personal foul. 8th team foul. And a free throw, no free throws here. It was called a player control foul. So they'll wipe up some sweat on the floor. And we will be back to action with 5:33 to go in the game. All tied at 54. As Jackson and a Mariner, who will make the postseason. Fadeaway jumper on the way. Good. Makai Bloomfield with a bucket there. Back to the lead of 56-54. It was a 2-pointer. Harris Camp out of backcourt. He'll dump it down. Oh, they was looking for Williams. The ball was knocked away. Oh, they say it went out of bounds. I'm kind of thinking the official is going to overrule.
Nope.
He won't overrule. Now he wants a clarification. And Peyton, he's calling over Peyton. What'd you see on this one, right? I think they got it wrong. But if you don't see it, you can't make it up.
Yeah. He needed some help on that. Neither one of his partners were able to help him.
Yep. So here we go. Mariner with it. Leading by 2, 56-54. 5 minutes to play. Almost knocked away. Goes over to Mackie James. James dribbles in, puts up the elbow. Went in amongst the trees. Tried to get rid of the basketball. He does. Johnson has it. He swings it back out to the right side to James. Now in the corner to Weimer. Dribbles along the baseline. Stops underneath. Back out. Wide open. 3 on the way. Bang!
Wide open.
Savante McSwain could have been more wide open. He was standing out in the middle of 132nd.
And honestly, that was really poor on Jackson's part there, that defensive series. That was just not very good.
McFerrin gets it back from Camp. The bucket won't go, and he'll have to earn him at the free throw line. It would have been an and one there, but couldn't get it to go, and McFerrin will be at the free throw line. And it will be Riley Weimer picking up the foul for the Marauders, his 2nd personal foul, 5th team foul. And Ryan McFerrin at the free throw line for the T-Wolves. First free throw good. The lead is 4, 59-55. Now McFerrin gets another. On the way and good. 59-56. Here comes Mariner. They have the lead. 4.5 to play. Up fake for the 3 was Mackie James. Give it off to Jalen Johnson. Johnson bounce pass over to Weimer. Dribbles to the baseline. Closed off there. Back out. Johnson wide open, but it wouldn't go. But grabbing the rebound back up is Mackie James and in. James in the right spot. Got a rebound at the right time and lays it in, and it's 61-56. We may get to 70 points. Out of backcourt. is Silas Williams. Kind of changing direction a couple times. Knocks over the defender. Ball stolen away. Grabbed by Johnson. Johnson to James. Going in. Laying good. Got the steal as Williams brought it down there at 63-56. Now Trey Hawkins with it in front of the Jackson bench to our right. Changes direction. Swings across the top of the key. Still on the dribble. Pull-up jumper just above the foul line from 16 feet away as Trey Hawkins hits it. And it's 63-58. 3.5 to play. In the corner, elevate. Mackie James, three.
Yeah.
Down it goes for a three, and it's 66-58. They can score big time in bunches. The clock's ticking away. Nobody to throw it in. Good defense being played. Hawkins has it in backcourt. Coming up in 3 minutes to play. Time's tight. That's Booker T and the MGs. That's Trey Hawkins, top of the key. Stops at the foul line, turn, face, fire, won't go. Trying for a tap up is Sproul. They're going to say he got fouled. That's the best thing that can happen for the Timberwolves is to score with this clock stop, except it's going to be at the baseline because that's only the 6th team foul.
Yeah.
Jalen Johnson, his 4th personal though. 6th team foul, baseline out of bounds, fresh 30 on the shot clock. They don't want to take 30. They need to score fairly quickly. Harris Camp with it. He will shoot a three. No good. Back up by McFerrin and in. Ryan McFerrin makes it 66-60, 2:44 to go. Stop and pop, and the shot on the way. No good by Jalen Johnson in front of the iron. And Mariner bench warning as I'm not sure as Tevin Dillon is having a discussion with Peyton Kelly, the official. He said a bench warning. So out of bounds, 27 on the shot clock. Jackson basketball. That's not good news for Jackson. He's got to inbound it against this defense. Trey Hawkins will bring it out of backcourt now for the Timberwolves.
Jackson needs to be patient here and get a good look. They need to get a good look at a basket. Give themselves a chance.
Hawkins look down low to Williams. Goes to Sproul. Back over to Hawkins again. They're still looking for Williams. He'll shoot a three. How's that for a look? How's that for a look, Coach?
That's not bad. And that was a needed basket. Right now, I think Mariner is bringing more energy to both ends of the court, to be very candid with you. Jackson looks slow. They're slow to rotate on the defensive end. Mariners getting point-blank open looks from the three-point. They're hustling. They're all hustling to the rebounds or for the rebounding off the boards. Yep. That was a big basket for Jackson. Big basket.
Makes it 66-63. Timeout called by Jackson. We're keeping it right here during the timeout. Timberwolves playing Mariner tonight. They've traveled to Stadium High School for a snow makeup game coming up on Saturday down to beautiful Stadium High School. That's a great place to play. Yep. The next week they'll play Kamiak on Wednesday at Kamiak, and then here against Glacier Peak next Friday night. That could be for all the marbles for going on or not going on.
That could be. And don't dismiss the importance of that Kamiak game at Kamiak.
Right. Oh, yeah. We like the way Kamiak plays.
Yep. And they're tough in their own gym.
Yeah. So one of those teams, if Mariners, if they win this one tonight, they pretty much take command of the Wesco 4A.
They take big command of the Wesco 4A tonight.
But a long way to go here. 2:13 to go.
This is a big 2 minutes right here.
Mariner with it.
And it's a big possession.
That's McSwain. Dribbles in, hooks a pass down low to Weimer. Beautiful pass. Just an absolute laser beam to Weimer for the bucket at 68-63.
And that came right out of the timeout that was drawn up.
Yep.
And it worked to perfection.
Hawkins brings it up across the timeline. Mariner kind of backs away from the full court pressure. Now they'll trap at the center line.
There we are.
Hawkins looking
Same
for help.
thing.
And a foul call. See who they're going to get. Mackie James, I'm guessing.
I thought it was Bloomfield.
Nope, they're going to get James.
Okay.
His third personal foul, 7th team foul, 1-1 coming up here. And that'll put Trey Hawkins at the free throw line.
You need to make your free throws. You need to have quality possessions on the offensive end, and on the defensive end, you can't give them looks. You got to be tough down there on the defensive end.
First free throw good. The lead is 4, 68-64. Minute 43 to go. Mariner won the first one, 74-73, a couple of weeks ago. Next free throw rattles a couple of times and goes through. The lead is 3. Hawkins has 21 points in the ball game. Dribble drive.
Good defense right there.
They swing it to Weimer. They go in the corner. Mackie James up fake for the 3. They can take some time here. Makai Bloomfield with it.
He's the one that you want to have the ball.
He goes in, misses the lay-in, no good. McFerrin grabs the rebound for Jackson. Minute 22 to go.
Okay, Jackson's got to get a good quality look here. It's got to be a good possession here for Jackson.
Trey Hawkins with it. Gives it to Williams. Back out to Camp. Looked at a 3. Dribbles in. Puts it up with the right hand. Short, no good. McFerrin with a rebound up and in.
Tough rebound.
Another rebound there for the Jackson Timberwolves. They have a huge rebounding advantage and a timeout on the floor called by Mariner. 1 minute exactly to play in the game. It's a 1-point ball game. Mariner with the lead, 68-67. Back to Jackson High School after this 30-second timeout.
We need our play of the game.
We at Gene Johnson are here and ready to help with our touch-free service. Being clean and safe are at the top of our minds. We're using gloves, masks, shoe covers, and lots of hand sanitizer. Our software allows us to get your approval without any physical contact. We hope you don't need us, but if you do, we're ready.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, breathe in. Now watch your speed and breathe out. Good. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
Help keep drivers and backseat drivers safe with Les Schwab Tires.
You work on these situations in practice literally every day. Different scenarios. This is when your best players need to step up and show some leadership out there.
Mariner will throw it in. Riley Weimer will, right in front of our broadcast location, looking to throw it in. And now here's the whistle. Here we go. On the inbounds it goes. McSwain with it out between the circles. On the dribble. 22 to shoot. Bounce pass over the right side to Jalen Johnson. Johnson on the dribble, 18 to shoot. Way outside the 3 line. Goes to Mackie James. Up fakes for the 3. Goes to Johnson.
Oh, good D.
Down to 10.
Good D.
Grabbed there by Hawkins. Up the floor it goes to Camp. It's stolen away.
Oh, no.
Can't get it. Ball went out of bounds. They're going to have a pushing foul called here on McFerrin. It was a steal by Jackson, but they couldn't take advantage of it.
I just think they got too excited and got ahead of themselves. And if they, instead of just getting the possession and valuing the possession, it just they got ahead of themselves.
McFerrin picks up the foul, his 3rd.
Opportunity here for Mariner to really make it tough on Jackson.
Devontae McSwain. Free throw, good. Number 1.
That was solid.
2-point ball game. 36.5 seconds to go. 2-point lead for Mariner. And next one by McSwain. Getting set to deliver. He does not. It comes off no good. McFerrin grabs another rebound. It's a 2-point ball game.
You need a good possession here. You need a good look.
Camp will bring it out of backcourt.
You got to use your heads right here.
Looking to dump it down to
not like that.
Hawkins, and a pushing foul is called. I thought maybe Steve Johnson would call a timeout, and he didn't. The foul is going to be on McSwain. Overplay on the defense. 1-and-1 coming up here. McSwain picks up his 3rd personal foul. 8th team foul. A chance to tie here with 2 free throws for Trey Hawkins. First one is airborne and good. 24.9 to go. 1-point lead. Will we be tied? Trey Hawkins has the ball. Good. He's got 23 in the ball game. We're tied at 69.
Did we think anything less?
You play for 1?
Oh, I think you do, yeah, I do.
Timeout immediately called by Mariner.
And if Bloomfield's on the floor, he has to get the final touch. But I think you go down, you take that clock down as far as you can. You got to tie a ball game. You don't want Jackson to get the ball back.
Right.
And if you're Jackson, you've got to come out and just play straight up and use your head and not get happy with the shot fakes or anything else. Just keep your feet down. Know your defensive principles. Make sure you continue to put good ball pressure. Don't go for those fakes because that's how they're going to try to draw a foul right there.
Do you pre-think these things as a coach? Okay, if we're down by 1, we're going to do this.
Absolutely.
If we're up by 1, we're going to do this.
100%.
And if we're going to tie it, we're going to do this.
You play that scenario over with your team and your coaching staff over and over. And
laying in bed at night.
Yeah. No, you do. That's just what you do. You get in these situations. You got to have decisive decision-making in the huddle. You can't have any questions. The kids have got to know what you're thinking because they've gone through it in practice.
Right.
And here we are.
So here we are, 69 all. It'll be Mariner basketball. Shot clock's dead, 18.7 seconds to play. See what Mariner does here coming out of the timeout. Marauders will throw it in from the sideline on the far side in front of the student section. Looking to throw it in, they do. Comes into backcourt, it's McSwain. They're slowing things down to 13, down to 12.
I'd want to know where Bloomfield is.
He's over here on the left side, down to 8, down to 7. Bloomfield has it. Dribbles in, stops, pops, puts it up. Too hard, no good. Sproul grabs the rebound, and they're going to call a timeout. I think they're going to put time on the clock.
They should. He called that with there was 3 seconds. I looked at the clock as soon as the possession happened.
Yeah.
3.4, I heard him say.
I tell you what, Steve Johnson still has hops.
Yes, he does.
He got
the
elevation.
Yeah.
So he called the timeout.
So now this is another situation you work on in practice over and over, and you look at you look at all the wrinkles. You look at different ways that teams can check the ball out of bounds. Do they put people back? So and Jackson's got some pretty good weapons.
You got to go Silas.
Yes and no. I mean,
if they triple team Silas.
Exactly. You know, you can't. Here's what you can't do, Tom. You can't get into a huddle and have it focused on one player, because if they go out and they break the huddle and you got 2 people checking them, now they're looking at the bench. Kids have got to know exactly what's going to be going on.
So both teams standing. Tevin Dillon to our left with the Mariner Marauders. Steve Johnson to our right with the Jackson Timberwolves. 69 all is the score. We go out onto the floor, and the thing is that Jackson's got to go the length of the floor with 3.4 seconds to go.
So Silas is taking it out.
So is he going to take it out, then sprint up the left side and receive the ball back? See what happens.
Well, you got to get it in. That's the first thing.
Full court pressure, in it comes. Hawkins will bring it up, down to 2, down to 1. Shoots from half court. Well, there wasn't a lot of time. I'm not sure where they were going with that, but we will take a break and come back, and it's overtime. 69 all. Back with the overtime period after this timeout.
It had to be this way.
SWCC is an acronym, and it stands for Special Warfare Combatant Craft Crewman.
You know, you can stand across from the guy and say, you know what, he's got your back. And, you know, that's the guy you're counting on. If something goes wrong, he's going to be there.
In the end, we're fighting for each other.
Full practice, switch doctor, request immediate hot extract.
Here on the team, about 22 of us on the boat. You know them personally, so you know exactly whose life you have in your hands.
Everyone's come together, and everyone's sole mission is to do their job individually as best they can to benefit everyone else in the boat.
I got a brotherhood, and it's a real brotherhood, and it's a loyal and honest brotherhood, and that's what matters.
Here we go. Overtime period. It's been a while since we've had an overtime. And
should we have thought anything different? No.
And Bloomfield has got some blood on his arm apparently, so they're going to grab some duct tape or something to tape him up, and he'll be ready to go. You don't want him off the floor.
No. No, he is one person that does not come off the floor for Mariner.
So he's been repaired, and here we go. Ball in the air. Tapped, controlled by Jackson. Trey Hawkins brings it out of backcourt to Harris Camp. Now to Hawkins deep in the right-hand corner. They're looking for Williams. Finally, they find him. Back to the basket. Now it faces up, goes to the baseline, puts it up with a hook. No good. McFerrin had the rebound, was swatted out of there, and grabbed by Jalen Johnson coming down the floor, going in, laying.
Oh, no.
No good. They're going to call in the blocking foul. He stepped in there.
I thought he was set.
Camp is going to pick up the foul. I think is that his fifth? 2 shots coming up here. Harris Camp just picked up his 5th personal foul. 10th team foul, so he will head to the bench. And Steve Johnson hasn't replaced him yet. I'm guessing it'll be Ty Hale. It will be. Hale will come in. Meanwhile, at the free throw line, Jalen Johnson is getting set to shoot 2 free throws. Double bonus now the rest of the way for Mariner.
Yeah.
First one is good. So Mariner, Jackson's come back and tied, but haven't taken the lead here in this late stages, now in the overtime. Next free throw is good. The lead is 2, 71 to 6. We might get, Coach, to 91-66.
Yeah, we'll be in the mid-70s.
They put up a lot of points tonight.
Yes, they'd have.
Ty Hale up by the center line to Hawkins. Hawkins starts to dribble down the right side. Tries to lose the defender, Mackie James. Good luck with that. And a holding foul is going to be called. It's going to be Riley Weimer holding on Silas Williams, and he'll go to the free throw line with the bonus. Riley Weimer, that's his 3rd personal, 9th team foul. So 1 more foul, and we're in double bonus the rest of this first overtime period. The streamers making my ears bleed.
Yeah.
First free throw good by Williams. The next one could tie the ball game for the 5th time this evening in Mill Creek. Couple of dribbles, couple of more dribbles, spin the basketball, look at the logo, shoot and hit. We're tied at 71. We were tied at 69 at the end of regulation. Here comes Mariner. McSwain dribbles to the baseline, closed out there by McFerrin. Now will dribble into the paint, stop, put it up against, and blocked by McFerrin. He's got at least 5 in the ball game. Back out for Jalen Johnson, shoots. Too hard, no good. Surrounded by Jackson players, except it's going to be grabbed there. Little step through move. Laying no good by McSwain.
It was blocked.
Partially blocked there.
Yep.
And McFerrin kind of comes away limping a little bit coming out of backcourt. He'll get it at the right wing. Looking down low. Jackson with the basketball. We're tied at 71.
Oh, wow.
Outside 3. Too hard, no good. Actually came up short, no good by Hawkins. Rebound grabbed down by McSwain to Bloomfield. Dribbles around a couple of defenders. Lays it up and in. 2 defenders couldn't wall him off, and he laid it up and in. It's Mariner 73-71.
Well, I think they were afraid to foul, number 1, but he's smooth, and he's got a great first step.
Bloomfield with 20 points in the ball game. Looking down low they go. Jackson with it. Hook pass in the corner. Ty Hale elevates 3. No good. Sproul back up. It is good. The missed 3 by Hale. The putback by Sproul. We're tied at 73 with 2 minutes to go. The lay-in no good by Jalen Johnson. And they're going to whistle this one. It's going to be a Trey Hawkins picks up the foul. That's the 3rd personal foul. Both teams now double bonus time. So Jalen Johnson goes to the free throw line for the Marauders. First one is good. 74-73. Next one. As soon as they take McFerrin out.
Yeah, I wonder what that was about. I think they need to keep him in there.
Next free throw, no good, so the lead is 1 point. Rebound, though, it worked out. Johansson came in for him and just got that rebound. Give it to Williams. Williams dribble drive to the baseline. Stops, goes too far underneath, then he turned around and put it up with the other hand.
Very
Jackson,
nice move.
Jackson retakes the lead here at 75-74 on their home floor. Minute 39 to go. Underneath they go. It's back up and in for Jalen Johnson. And it's 76-75, a minute and a half to play. Now Ty Hale will bring it out of backcourt, calling the play as he dribbles it out of backcourt. Savante McSwain on him defensively. Still on the dribble is Hale. He got it over to Williams. Changes direction. Foul line jumper. Good.
Nice.
77-76. He's got 25 points in the ball game. Underneath it goes Riley Weimer's been in there a long time.
Timeout.
Mariner will call a timeout. Minute 5 to play in the game. First overtime period. 77-76. Timberwolves will take a 30-second break. Come back to Jackson after this timeout.
We're not here to take part. We're here to take over. I am the beast.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down. It's like a loop machine.
Changed hands and nice little fingertip over the front of the rim. That was a good little move right there. That would be my vote right now.
There you go. The Move Fitness move of the game. Move Fitness in Everett with a huge selection of high-tech equipment, group exercise classes, nutritional guidance, and training options. Move Fitness is your one-stop shop for fitness. MUV, that's movefitness.com. Look at that. We got it in. Minute 5 to go. And Mariner gets it in. Jalen Johnson goes in, lost the basketball. Good defense there by Silas Williams. Lost the ball, 18 to shoot. 1 minute exactly to play in overtime period number 1. The lead is 1 for the Timberwolves on their home floor. Johnson on the inbounds. Gets it, dribbles out by the center line. Keeps the dribble. Hawkins on him defensively. Down to 10 to shoot. He dribbles through, goes in. Blocked by Williams. Grabbed by Johansson. Jackson basketball with the lead. Will they foul with 44 seconds to go? Baseball pass down to the right corner to Sproul. Coach Johnson says, pass it around, pass it around. Hawkins has it. Will they take a foul? Down to 16 to shoot. And a foul called. Reach-in foul on Riley Weimer.
That's questionable.
33 seconds to go. The lead is 1 for Jackson and Trey Hawkins at the free throw line.
That's a questionable call out front like that. I disagree with that. There was no intention to foul. They were just playing good, hard defense.
First free throw, no good. Do you really believe the ball doesn't lie? See what this one does.
Okay, you got 33 seconds. You got a lot of time right here.
Free throw good.
You're down 2.
Here comes Mariner.
Get your best available shot as quickly as you can.
As they bring it out of backcourt, and a timeout called by Mariner. We'll keep it right here.
Yep.
29.3 seconds to go. 78-76 Timberwolves. Boy, this thing has just been back and forth and up and down.
Well, we knew going in, like I said, they are about as mirror imaged of each other as you can possibly get. They got the shooters. They can play decent defense. Both of them bring a ton of energy to the floor. Why not? Why not?
Mariner, they're playing tonight. They don't play it again until next Friday at Kamiak, a big cross-district.
That's a long layoff. But at this late of the season, take a couple days off and rest your legs. That's not too bad either. But you got to be playing. You really got to get out there and play.
Then they end with Glacier Peak, at Glacier Peak,
yeah,
and then home against Lake Stevens.
Yeah, those are 2 tough finish games for them.
So we've gone from, when Mariner wins, when Jackson wins, when Mariner wins,
right,
when Jackson wins.
Right.
Right now, the lead is 2, 78-76, 29.3 seconds to go. We're in overtime. 2-point lead for Jackson. Mariner basketball. Deep in the corner goes. Mackie James up fakes a 3. Taking some time here, down to 22. There's about a 2-second differential.
Jackson just needs to stay fundamentally sound here on their defense. They can't have a lapse. They know who's going to get the ball.
10 to shoot.
Bloomfield's got it.
He does, and the pushing foul is going to be called. They're going to call a foul, I think, kind of away from the basketball. because that's going to send Jalen Johnson to the free throw line. Sproul picks up the foul. That's his third. 10.6 seconds to go. 2 shots coming up here. Jalen Johnson at the stripe. First one. No. Steve Johnson saying block out, block out. It's a 1 point. It can only be a 1 point ball game now. Jalen Johnson missed the first. Second one on the way. Good. 78-77. 10.6 seconds to go. Full court pressure. McFerrin gets it in to Williams. Williams fouled immediately in backcourt. We're down to 9.2 and into a foul situation here. 1 point. Boy, that first miss was just gigantic.
And he's been pretty solid with his free throws tonight. He really has. I like his stroke. I like his calmness. And it was a good shot. It just, those things happen.
So here is Silas Williams at the free throw line.
He's got to hit one. He's got to get one.
Bloomfield picked up the foul, his first. Both teams in the double bonus. 2 shots here for Williams.
And if you're Jackson, you got to get back. You got to drop people back. You do not want to get beat long. They're going to go coast to coast.
Free throw, good.
Boom.
Makes it a 2 point ball game. Hit this one, now they can do nothing, but they have to come down and shoot a 3.
Yeah.
And here's the next one by Williams. On the way, good. Timeout called by Jackson. Steve Johnson calls timeout, wants to set up the defense here. What are you going to do? Let them bring it down and shoot?
Well, yeah. See, now here, here's a philosophical thing.
Okay.
What do you do? Do you come down, run the clock down? What kind of time do we have? Was it on the clock?
9 point.
So you let them run it down to 5, 4, 3, and then you go foul them without making it an intentional foul, and certainly not why they shoot it. They get 2 free throws. You know, it goes back and forth. If it were me personally, that's what I would do.
You let them shoot rather than take a foul here. You don't take an early foul.
No, I wouldn't take an early foul. I would wait till about that 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds,
right,
and then go get a foul.
Okay.
And I would, you just play it hard, and so there's not an intentional one. Certainly don't want to foul them in the act of shooting. So, yeah, that's how I would do it. You could talk to 10 different coaches and get 10 different philosophies on this. So we'll see what they do.
Actually, talk to 10 different coaches, get about 18 different philosophies, right?
Yeah. And again, these are situations that you work on in practice, and these are situations in your coaches' meetings. You better have everybody on the staff better be on the same page for these kind of situations.
So here we go. 9.7 seconds to go. Timberwolves lead at 80-77.
I would get a guy back if I'm Jackson. I would get a guy back. I'd get 2 guys back. Don't bite.
They'll inbound it to Bloomfield.
Who
Comes
else?
across the timeline. Down to 7, down to 6. Foul call. They will call the foul on Sproul with 6.2.
Yep.
So from the take a foul camp.
Yep.
And it'll be Bloomfield at the free throw line. He's got 2 free throws here.
Yep.
He can't tie it, but a putback can win it. Free throw, good. You miss it purposely?
No, you make it, and then you foul as soon as that ball comes in.
Okay.
You got a lot of time left. You're not out of this game.
6.2 to go. First free throw, good. Second one is airborne. It is no good. Who's got the rebound? Silas Williams fouled. Big miss there.
That was a big miss.
So that'll make it. We go to the other end of the floor with 4.4 seconds to go. Silas Williams will be at the free throw line. He's deadly from the line. Weimer fouls out of the ball game. Riley Weimer picks up his 4th or 5th personal foul. And checking in for him is Michael Sully. And so now the officials chatting with each other about what are we doing here. We're going to give a couple of free throws here for Silas Williams. Boy, it's quite like a church in here now.
Yes, there is. There's some serious tension in this gymnasium right now.
Free throw here. A couple of dribbles. A couple of more dribbles for Silas Williams. He gets 2, and the first one is good. Makes it 81-78. The next one ices it. So Williams. Next one on the way. It is good. That should it. And then Steve Johnson saying, get away from anybody that has any kind of a blue uniform on. Pull-up jumper on the way. Good for Johnson. Johnson hits it at the horn for a 3, and that will make the final score the Jackson Timberwolves 82, the Mariner Marauders 81. What a ball game here tonight.
A great game, start to finish. Give Jackson a lot of credit for the way they hung in there when they got down. That third quarter being the disaster that it was, they just hung in there. What a great finish.
We're going to get Ryan McFerrin, the player of the game here, to come up here and get a chat with us here right away. And, yeah, this is what we expected.
This is exactly the way, and I'm glad it worked out that way. I really am. I'm happy for both teams. I mean, they split now during the season. The whole conference is in a mess because everybody's tied.
That's right.
But that's okay. That's okay.
Yep. So
there's a lot to gain from both teams out here.
Yeah, we're going to get Ryan McFerrin here, our player of the game, brought to you by Marysville Toyota here on KRKO. And okay, here he comes. And we're going to get him all wired up here, and we'll talk with our player of the game, Ryan McFerrin. And Ryan puts on the headphones, and here we go. And Ryan joins us now. Did you expect anything different tonight than an overtime thriller?
We did. We expected to come out, and we expected to win by a lot, but at least we got the win, so that's all that matters.
Well, and you were up by a lot,
yeah,
and then you were down by a lot, and then you tied it up. What was the key on you guys coming back?
Just persevering, pushing through, and just knowing that we can win this game.
Yeah, I would agree. I thought you came out in the third quarter a little sluggish. I thought Mariner showed a little bit more energy, but, God, you guys rallied in that fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And you, young man, you knew where the ball was coming off the rim. I don't know how many offensive rebounds you had tonight or what your stats were, but you did wonderful inside there. You took advantage of those putbacks, and what a great win for you.
Thank you. Helps being tall.
Yeah, you can't coach height. You know what I mean? Yeah. So what this kind of puts everybody at 2-2 now.
Yeah, it does. We're coming for the #1 spot.
Yeah.
We're top dogs.
Yeah.
There you go. So good luck tonight. Good job tonight.
Thank you very much.
You bet. That is our player of the game. Brought to you by Marysville Toyota. Wait, we got a shirt for you, Ryan. Well, we'll get him back. We got presents. We got to take pictures. We got all this stuff. We got to do all that. We're going to take a break and come back with our postgame show. 82-81, Jackson beats Mariner. Back with the postgame show right here on KRKO.